I want to say greetings. Today is July the 1st. Countdown to the 4th of July. This video or live stream, there will be a video, is going to be very important. And I'm stalling for time so you could be notified. My subscribers should be notified. But I understand that today is a beautiful day in Detroit, in Michigan. It's summertime and you're out enjoying the weather. But you take your devices with you everywhere you go. But you could be having so much fun doing what you do that you don't want to tune in on me right now. This is Elder Blacklight with the kind of flavor, the savor, and the kind of knowledge that you won't get in college. The name of this video or this live stream I'm naming Doomsday Savior, MOTOWN Sacred Ground, aka Farad Metro. So I'm going to take time to explain that title to you. The weather in Detroit, the temperature is just right. I mean, it's sunny. It's like a Mediterranean type feel. And we're going to talk about Trump and Biden. And we're going to put America or the United States on trial for a while, at least during this live stream. I was watching a movie called Armageddon. Alex Jones was in. I seen him in it, and it's a movie almost like Red Dawn, if you ever seen that movie, where the United States was took over by the UN, and the UN declared martial law. And so the Constitution was suspended or either canceled out. It was an all-white cast, concerned white people concerned about their country being no longer in the hands of the voters. So I want to remind my people, all the black people that's happen to be tuning in or will see this video later. In order to answer these questions, we got to go way back in history. Now, what questions I'm going to ask you? Well, I'm going to ask you, would you be interested, especially here in Detroit, to take a poll of the black man, strictly black man, no other people? Take a poll of the black people, asking the question, well, these questions. See how many people want to integrate. Take a poll to see how many black people will want to integrate. And how many black people would rather separate. You know, make up a sheet that or some paper that you could pass around in your church or in your block club, or to see, you never, see how many people will want to integrate and how many people will want to separate before you even ask the question of reparations. Then take uh, another survey or poll asking the question, how many black, brown people feel that they are a nation separate from the Caucasian. Then take another poll or another survey asking the question, how many people think that we all are the same? There's no difference in the attitudes or the actions or the nature between the black, the brown, and the red, and the white man or the Caucasian. Then take another poll. I hope you're writing this down, but you can get it when you review this live stream when it becomes a video. Take another poll and see who is the number one liar during the past 6,000 years. Who is the number one liar between the black, brown, red, yellow, and the Caucasian, the white man? Who is the number one warmonger or murderer between the black, brown, red, yellow, and white people? who has the most, who has had the most wars amongst the nations, as far back as you can go, who has the most wars amongst the nation. In other words, uh, have you ever heard of the African invading China? Or have you ever heard of China invading Africa? Or have you ever heard of India invading Africa? Or India invading China? Or China invading India? Uh, within the past 6,000 years? Or what about the African invading uh, Hawaii? Or the so-called African invading Australia? Have you ever heard of those two or three countries invading each other, warring with each other? What about the Indian, the American Indian? Have you ever heard of Africa invading, uh, came over here in the West and to invade the so-called American Indian? The Native American, or however you want to say it. And have you ever heard of the Indian going over to Africa, making war with Africa? Have you ever heard of that before? And we're also going to be talking about the two presidential candidates that had a debate right before the 4th of July. What significance does that play in the election and right before the 4th of July? I like to call attention to their ties. You see, Trump got on a red tie, which represents the Republicans, and Biden got on a blue tie, which represents the Democrats. Now, what street organization or street gangs, especially around in California, wear those colors? The Bloods wear the red. The Crips wear the blue. Is that a coincidence? Have you ever heard of the African American in America, in the United States, trying to assassinate any president? I mean, we've been in slavery. We've been tortured by the white man, and just plain dog. And you never heard of a black man going to Washington or District of Columbia, trying to. Well, they said a sister. I gotta be fair. They said they killed one sister at the gates of the White House. They said she was trying to get in the White House to kill somebody, you know. But other than that, I don't even know if you ever heard of a black man trying to attempt to assassinate the president. It's all been white people. So we asking the question, right now we asking who's the number one liar and the number one murderer. See, because the reason why I want to ask this question, and I want you to ponder over it, is because every time we talk about the white man, you know, dogging us and discriminating against us, killing us, police killing us and everything, they always bring up the question. They say, well, look at how you kill your own people. And so I said, what? And then we always feel ashamed when they ask that. Yeah, we do kill ourselves. We is killing ourselves. But I want you to ask yourself this question. Are you killing yourself at the rate, is the black man killing himself at the rate that the white man is killing him? And has the black man been all over the planet invading other people's lands, starting trouble, destabilizing the economy, destabilizing the government, assassinating, the CIA, assassinating people? The black man don't have no CIA to assassinate heads of state and leaders and so forth. But you often heard of the CIA doing that, or you often heard of uh, the the military, American military, invading in other countries like Hawaii. They invaded Hawaii and just took it over. So let's go back a little bit. When the European Caucasian came over here and settled this country, how did he do it? How did he get in this country? He just came on over here. Columbus. Columbus just came on over here. And he came over here at first with smiling faces. You know, and the natives over here, they accepted him over here. So they set up a trading post. They set up a trading post and start trading furs and stuff like that with the Indians. But they didn't know how to live over here in this country. So they stayed friendly with the natives until the natives showed them how to survive over here. Showed them about plants. Different plants was medicine. And the European, white man European, he had brought diseases from Europe, England, and all around about over here with him. Syphilis, all kind of stuff. Smallpox, yellow fever, you know. And the natives over here, they wasn't immune to that. So trading with them. Now, the Native American, they didn't charge them no taxes, tariffs. They didn't charge them none of that. You didn't have to have a license. They said you got to have a license to open up shop over here. You know, you can settle on any part of the land we want to. We can't sell you what belongs to everybody, Mother Earth. You know. So the Native American was practicing freedom, justice, and equality, which is Islam. Oh yeah, they were Muslims, but well, I'm not going to get into that right now. Uh, After a while, after the white man settled over here, explored the land, started seeing all the natural resources, the gold, the silver, the oil, you know, all the different kind of food they had over here. So they back to England, say, especially Columbus, he wrote saying, we got some prime land over here. See, because England was crowded. It was the terrain was rocky, and the weather was bad to grow to grow to grow food or whatever. Diseases was over there. So he wrote back, Columbus wrote back, told him, say, we got some naive people over here. They believe that their word is their bond. They give their word. They don't know nothing about trickery. They don't know nothing about lies, cheating, stealing. They don't do that. I ain't never saying that the Native American, didn't have clashes with each other, but it wasn't on the scale of massacring wiping out whole people, wiping out a whole village, wiping out a whole, they do their little skirmishes and fights, you know, and everything, but it wasn't no thing, they weren't trying to kill their women and children all up. They weren't raping their women and children. That wasn't no thing with them. They had rules and regulations for warfare and certain way they would fight war or make war. They try to be humane as possible. So when the Caucasian seen uh, how these people were, the queen told them, say, look, the royalty, the head rulers told them, say, look, take it over. You have a blank check to take it over. And so they had the Native American food, thinking that, they were all friendly. And then all of a sudden, he changed. He changed on them. Started killing them, scalping them, you know. Now, almost around the same time, because Christopher Columbus came over here in 1492, around 1555, John Hawkins used that same maneuver, came over here in Africa, around Kemet, in that area, came over there, and John Hawkins opened up a trading post. And so he over the trading post got friendly with the black man. He was over there around the tribe of Shabazz where they was at and studied them using that trading post to study the habits, for 20 years of the black man. Then he used technology on them, lying. That's all technology is lying and using simple psychology, you know, simple psych, as we used to call it. And notice that the tribe of Shabazz was almost like the Native American. Their word was their bond. They didn't use paper contracts, nothing like that. They didn't need no sign no treaties and all like that. You know, and so they were naive to the game of the white man. And you know what, black man and woman, y'all still naive. Y'all ain't woke up to that yet. But anyway, make a long story short, he tricked the uh, the brothers and sisters on the boat, with mostly the brothers on the boat, to come over here. And once he got them on the boat, he made sure they didn't get off the boat. They didn't jump off the boat. And they trapped them on the boat, brought them over here. This is 1555. That's the real time we got over here. Then he went over to the central, the Bahamas around there before he came to inland, before he came to what they now call the United States. He was over there, around South America, around, Bermuda, around all over there, uh, Cuba, Haiti. He was all around there. And so he took us there to break us in. He had to break us in now all this was plotted out. All this was his science to get us. He didn't want us to be a slave for 10 years. He didn't want to be a slave for 5 years, 20 years. He wanted us to be a slave for generations. So he used the method, a scientific method invented by Lynch. He was a scientist to divide us and separate us. And then dummy us down to the point where we lost our language, and he used fear and terrorism, torture to make this work. He put fear in us, gave us the wrong kind of foods to eat. We all trying to eat right now because of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But he gave us the wrong kind of foods to eat. This changed our nature, or our mental abilities. And so, in the meantime, all this is happening. He wanted to form a nation over here. He wanted to turn his colonies into a nation. He wanted to separate from England and Europe you know. Now the people that came over here in the beginning, Columbus, when he came over here to explore this this Western Hemisphere, he took criminals out of jail because they felt like they wouldn't be losing nothing if the land was hostile. If they was hostile, but they weren't hostile. The land wasn't. The Indians weren't hostile. They was cool with them. You cool with me, man. You know, until they got the whooping on their butt, kid. Till they got to, when they turned on them, and so the Queen said, they was sending taxes over to England. They weren't paying the Indian taxes. They wouldn't get him nothing but a bullet to the head. That's all the thing they was getting. But all the richness and the treasures they found over here, they had to give it to England until he got tired of paying England. Say, man, they start talking among themselves. They said, man, we ain't sending no more money over there. We over here, they over there. We look like a fool giving them taxes. So they said, we're going to make our own nation. We ain't going to pay taxes. We're going to have one tax that each state, each city or whatever, it ain't going to be a city tax. It ain't going to be a state tax. It ain't going to be an unemployment tax. It ain't going to be any other kind of tax. Sales tax. Nothing but a direct tax. It was like a thing that you put in the kitty. You put in the National Treasury, and everything. But that was it. But England wasn't, we went saying, no, man, y'all gonna pay y'all taxes. Now this is before King James. This is after was it before King James wrote the Bible? I think it was, yeah. When they call it the first Constitutional Congress. That was the first political format that they had. First Constitution, no Congress. I think I'm saying that right. And they had anyway. They dressed up like Indians and went aboard a boat and started throwing tea and stuff over the boat. England got mad, and they came. See, let's put them in, let's check them, put them in, spank them and put them in order. And so the white men started dividing up the Indians so they would fight each other. Like he do now, how he divide us up now. He go and whisper something in. He say the Iroquois said your mama was a hoe. And the Cherokee said, what? Because the Cherokee, they already had a sort of like a constitution, like a constitution that they went by. But it was more organic, more natural. And so the white man was getting his cue from them. So he went over there to Canada, did the same, run the same game up under them, with the Indians up under them. So you had a whole lot of Indians fighting against each other, you know. Now this is similar to what the messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, was saying about before we sent the white man to Europe, the Caucasus Mountains, he was over here chilling with the gods, with the black man. And then he started trouble. Started lying on the brothers. Go to a brother, say, I seen your wife, you know, freaking with your best friend. Started all kind of trouble. So we kicked him out. This was before he turned caveman. In the Bible it goes like, we kicked him out the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve represents the Adamic race, which is the Caucasian, who was grafted. Yaqub, that's when Yaqub grafted the devil. And we didn't kick him out, you know, the Garden of Eden right away. We let him hang with us for a minute, practicing freedom, justice, and equality, Islam. But he wasn't satisfied with it. He ain't liked it because it was against his nature to follow the laws of Allah. So Allah told him how to act. But Eve, you know, she didn't want to act right. So she got her husband, Adam, not to act right, to go against the law of God. By a supreme devil, by a supreme white man that had tricknology, the laws of tricknology. And so once he got the weaker white man to fall for his con game, and he started, you know, doing all kind of freaky deaky stuff and tripping and carrying on, dividing up the brothers like he doing now, you know, and we falling for it. And that same game, he ain't never changed. He ain't never changed his game. It's the same game, but a different name. That's all. And so anyway, we kicked them out because God, you know, peeped that they wouldn't obey his commands. Now he didn't kick out Adam and Eve because they ate an apple and that represented sex. No. He kicked them out because they didn't follow his command. He told them not to eat of the tree. In other words, don't pay no attention to the serpent, the king devil. Don't pay no attention to him. So you can stay. But they went on ahead and did it anyway. And Adam, you know, he tried to blame it on his wife. But no, he was only supposed to listen to Allah, not his woman, which all y'all do now. You know, if you're a Muslim or want to be a Muslim and want to follow the laws of Islam, if that woman want to stay a Christian, you say, well, we can get along. As long as we practicing righteousness. No, you're practicing, actually what you're practicing is unrighteous. Because Christianity is the religion that the white man invented. And he tricked you by using Jesus' name and the Christ, using his name to make up a religion called Christianity. Who did that? Constantine. How many of y'all heard of Constantine? Who else did it? King James. Now, King James was over here at one time. They got a Jamestown, over here and so forth, named after. He done changed the whole name of everything. He done renamed, the white man done renamed everything. Renamed the animals, renamed Africa. He made Africa, Africa. Renamed, uh, renamed you, renamed the black man. You know, he done renamed everything. And so he tricked us, put fear in us, and then tricked our minds. Once he put that fear in us, it was easy to trick us. You know, so now he did that to the Indians. He did that to us. Then he went up in Alaska, up around the North Pole, where the Indians, they were black up there. They were black. Some of them Indians up there were blacker than the Indians down here, because they black people. They part of the black nation. Anybody with a dark complexion, a dark hue, even with a light hue, you know, if they got melanin, you know, and their father was black, no matter how light you are, you're a black man, you know, because you came out the black nation during the grafting process. But the white man was the last to come out of the black man. And he don't have none of the qualities and the moralities that we got. He was made devil, you know, almost like a man, but kind of a man. Or you could call him artificial intelligence, because there's an original intelligence and there's an artificial intelligence. So anyway, you know, I'm trying to get y'all to see about this fake government. It's a fake government, and they showing you how fake Biden, and it's showing you how fake it is. Trump is showing you how fake it is. The white people are for white people. They're not for you. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. Now, during this time that I'm talking about, they were forming the United States of America. You were still slaves. You didn't have no say-so in nothing. Matter of fact, it was a law to have slaves. But you wasn't a regular kind of slave like they used to have, like a debt slave or slaves they were talking about in the Bible, biblical slaves. Or if a tribe had a slave, they didn't stay a slave for a lifetime, generations. They had to, you know, they worked for a minute till they got their freedom. You know, just like Moses was a slave, you know, he had to marry his who I forgot the guy's daughter that Moses wanted to marry. He had to work for 10 years before he married her for free. You know, that was a slave. Our slavery wasn't like that. Our slave was a physical and mental slavery. You know, for generations until now, we still slaves because we using his name. We using not our original name, but not our original language. You know, not worshiping our original way of worshiping, not healing each other the original way we used to heal each other, but we using the Caucasians' methods because we still mental slaves. You could say he's our daddy now. He's our red-headed stepdaddy. You know, you could say that. That's why they say you are the children of Israel. Not Israel. You're not Israel, but you're the children of Israel. Because Israel, that word Israel means against God. Because Jacob was fighting God and made God tap out, or angel of God tap out, and told the angel of God, bless me. So God say, he blessed him and said, your name is no longer Jacob, your name is Israel. And that name means contender to God. A contender means against God. In other words, just like in a boxing match, you got the number one contender wanting to fight the champion. You know, if he beat the champion, you know. So therefore, we talking about it's still a battle going on. You know, only thing God did was give him some slack to carry out his battle plan. You know, but he's against God. But the war ain't over. You know, the war ain't over. He's still against God. See, and y'all trying to say, well, why he doing us like this? Why they over there in Palestine getting obliterated? Why this happening? Why wars happening? Why people die? It's like Lot. I mean, not Lot, but Job. The devil told God that he could turn Job against him. He said, if you quit protecting Job, you know, if you quit, you know, giving him your protection and let him suffer diseases and death and stuff like that in his family, his livestock, you know, his garden, everything, I bet you that I will turn him against you. You know, Job is the same way you spell Job, Job. That's all we want is a job. We don't want our own. We want to work for the white man. We want a job working for the white man. He made us like that. So anyway, Job God turned Job loose. I mean, the devil loose on Job. But Job remained loyal. I mean, he got boils all on his face and all kind of diseases, and his family getting jacked up, getting murdered, getting killed, and he remained faithful. Well, that's what he's trying to do now. He's trying to see who gonna be loyal and faithful. Who is Uncle Sam gonna turn? So that's why you got these two guys up here, Trump and Biden. Which one of those guys represent God? Answer that question. Which one of those guys represents God? Just like the devil fighting uh, Job, or the devil fighting one of Allah's angels. You know, or that's like the devil uh, trying to overthrow Allah's rule. Y'all call Allah Jesus. The black Christians call Allah Jesus. But that word Jesus means justice. That's not a bad word, but it don't mean Allah. But they just got through bombing Palestine not too long ago, where Jesus was born at. Israel did that. That word Israel means against God. And they showed it. They went over there and bombed Palestine where Jesus was born at. And then when you look in the Bible, you see the Jews didn't, Israel didn't like uh they tried to kill Jesus. They turned Jesus over to the Romans. Romans carry out the execution. They were the hitmen. They they gave the target to the Romans. So they say, don't believe the hype. Don't believe that. How you gonna kill God, man? How you gonna kill your superior? And you ain't gotta go through all them changes. God ain't gotta stay up on no cross and you know get tortured like that. How's that gonna save you if he on the cross nailed up? That can't save you. Like you can't get saved like that. What's that's representing, that cross representing the double cross. Is representing getting hit in the head and getting all your brains drained and your mental faculties are dead. So you're in a horizontal position. When you get in a vertical position, you're standing up, getting your rightful sense back, getting your brains back, your mentality back, your powers back. But right now, he got you nailed to the cross. Now, when you look at these two cats right here, Trump and Biden, they got you in a crossfire. They got the black man as the monkey in the middle, see? They practicing so-called Democrat democracy. But when you look up that word democracy, it leads you to the word proxy. Proxy leads you to the word pimping. So you got to study etymology, and you got to study. especially the English language, because it's not our original language. Just like the Indians had a language they taught, we had a language. The Chinese got a language. You know, we had a language, but now we only got one language, English. We don't know our original language, and they'll let us study all kind of European language, French, Spanish, even Chinese, but they won't let us study African. Our mother tongue, they won't let us study that. They won't let us study our African language. But you don't know what's your original language to study. Your original language, first it was Aramaic, ancient Egyptian Aramaic or Arabic, and the mother sister language was Hebrew. Those are tongues. Even Latin. We were speaking Latin, ancient Greek, but English, Old English, you know, that's a combination of all our ancient language. Just like, let's take the word algebra. That's an Arabic word for al-Jabbar, name of a black man. What about sheriff? He's the sheriff of that town. It's the Arabic word for sharif. You see what I'm saying? What about mathematics? Mathematics is an ancient Kemet term using for the prefix Mayat. Mayat was, you know, she was the one with the balance, you know, balance in her hands. So you got to study the origin of language, etymology, because when you investigating or studying English, you find out that it's a babbling language, that it has several meanings to one word, and sometimes it contradicts each other. So that's why when you look at the Bible, it contradicts, because the Bible was King James version of the Bible. Plus, he was trying to contradict it anyway. That's the nature of the white man. Just like democracy is a contradiction. It also, when you say pimp, a pimp is a dictator. You know? He dictates to a woman to go out there and get him some money. And he don't have to do nothing but just chill and collect the money. That's where job come in at. You go out and do labor, physical labor and mental labor, and you give it right back to the pimp through taxes, through buying goods, because you don't make none of them. He make them. You know, you don't set up nothing, no banks. You don't set up no supermarkets. If he gives you everything, well, you go out and sweat for it. and he gives you some fake money. That fake money represents the energy, the fruits of your labor. And the only thing you want is material things, materialistic things. You don't want no, you don't want no resources so you can make some money, no land. That's when they so-called freed you, they offered you 40 acres and a mule. Then they changed it because they say we give you 40 acres, y'all gonna get the resources out the acres and make money, by selling your resources, trading your resources amongst each other, and you'll be independent. But we want you to keep on depending on us. We don't want you to be independent. So they having this election, but Allah, you ain't got to see him because he works through men through mental uh, telepathy. He could put a thought in your head. That's why Trump was Trump be acting all funny. That's Allah, you know. Not Trump, but Biden. That's Allah. Trump, Allah be making Biden act the way he act. The rest of it is natural to the white man. The white man ain't gonna do right. And Trump, you know, he's showing you how they putting Trump on a kangaroo court in a rigged system. They rigged the system when it came to Trump. Because Trump, he got backing from Russia. And Biden, he did a whole lot of business deals with the Chinese, fake business deals using y'all money. Trump got evidence on that. He got evidence on Hillary Clinton. So they got evidence on each other. So Allah's putting it right before you so you can see it, in your face. But y'all ain't catching on, man. He did a job on us when he made us deaf, dumb, and blind. He did a job on us, man. So he had to give Allah, he first gave us an example of how we can get independent away from the Caucasian living in the belly of the beast. He said, I'm gonna make y'all living in the belly of the beast, but I'm gonna show you how to thrive. I'm gonna show you how to be fruitful and multiply, living in the belly of the beast. So Allah came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad to Detroit, Michigan, 313, MOTOWN. That's why MOTOWN is sacred ground. And he gave us the example of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, Farrakhan, all those early pioneers, but they didn't understand what they was learning. They didn't understand, really internalize who Master Farad was. But it was enough, You know, they had enough discipline in them to start it off. Just to show you how Master Farad Muhammad used the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to build up farms. He had, you know, the Nation of Islam had farms, they had airplanes, and they was doing business with their brothers over in Africa. They had schools, they had, you name it. And it was 170. I heard when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad died, it was 175 million. In today's time, we'd be up in the billions on that. And that's the economy of a small nation, you know. But y'all don't want to see it. Y'all don't want to. Y'all just can't see it. Y'all still brainwashed, man, or not brainwashed, but programmed, because you was brainwashed when you was enslaved. But now Trump got the red tie, the Bloods, the Paiute wear red, and y'all call them a gang, and the Democrats got the blue tie, and the Crips wear the blue. Y'all call them a gang. And they're killing up each other. They might have stopped a little bit. They killed Nipsey right in front of you. Nipsey Hussle. They killed Tupac, Biggie. All your entertainers get knocked off because they locked in that system of entertainment. You know, Hollywood. And the gangsters run that. That's all, you know. You could say they devils, or you could also say they outlaws. I'm talking about the white man. You could also say they gangsters. I mean, they when they had Al Capone and them shooting up each other, you know, we didn't tell them, say, look how y'all kill each other, like they tell us, look how y'all kill each other. We got it from you, man. You know, because we seen y'all, you know, we seen y'all double crossing each other, but y'all rich. Y'all own things. So we thought, you know, maybe that's the way to go. So they taught us religion. They taught us Christianity. And all Christianity, you know, is a religion of the white man. And I ask you again, who go around starting wars with everybody, even with themselves? So yeah, okay, but we might kill each other up because we ain't gonna mess with you, man. But you kill up everybody. You had a war with China. You had a war with, first you had the Spanish-American War. Then you had a war at the Alamo. You know, uh, Mexicans kicked them out of Texas. You had the Indian Wars with Geronimo and all them. You went over in Hawaii, just took them over. You didn't have to fight them. You went over up in Alaska and took over Alaska, took them over, the Eskimos. You went over in Australia, you know, and took that over. You went over in Australia, you know, it's black people over there. But not Anthony, but Alexander the Great went over in Africa He took that over. Now he tried to go up around that time. He tried to go up in India, and they ran his ass out of there. The Indians ran his ass out of there. I'm talking about the East Indians, you know. But he eventually, the British eventually got in there and divided them up. So he got to divide you up before he conquer you. He got to weaken your unity. See. So that's why I'm asking you, you know, before I get off of here, is in your neighborhood. Now, I know there's one thing I want to mention before, you know, I let you go, is they gave the debate in Atlanta, Georgia. That's where they got that police city at. And they sent the police city to train over in Israel. Because they're getting ready for martial law. And another thing, I forgot to mention this too. We was talking about the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is a foreign enterprise, but they own Trump. It's a syndicate, you know. They own Trump. They own Trump. They own Biden. They own all the Congress. They print up the money to start wars with. See, y'all don't be paying no attention, man. Y'all be loving them sports too much, loving that foolish stuff, man. People getting murdered all around you. Wars fighting over here, wars fighting over there. They got the migrants in, you know. See, they want you to fight the black man over in Chicago. See, now that's where Mosque number 1 is at, Mosque Mariam. If the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, if they were following the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, they couldn't pull what they pulled. Having the migrants come up there and take over, and the money that could be your reparations, they give it to the migrants. They send it over in Israel. They send the money in Ukraine, you know. So the Federal Reserve, you know, it was a Federal Reserve Act passed in 1914 by the Congress. And that started off your Federal Reserve Act. Then they soldiers out of IRS. They set up the UN, everything. They part of the soldiers, you know. See? So there's no UN and there's no world court to judge all the war crimes that Israel is doing. Or else they would have been done. You know, they give you some weak excuses, man. How you gonna fall for that? They're gonna tell you that Hamas came, came and killed them. I mean, came and invaded Israel, took some hostages, took them back into a cave. So Israel, they were embarrassed. He got so embarrassed that he said Hamas did it. That that's why they killing up all them people over there. But it actually was planned because Hamas was set up by the U.S. government and Israel. But some kind of way, I think they double crossed Israel and the United States. So Israel is taking it out on the people. The United States is taking it out on the people because the United States supply Israel with the weapons or whatever. But they're using that as an excuse also to go into Africa. They already got military posts over there, military forts over there. And they're trying to destabilize certain parts of Africa. They can't conquer the whole thing at one time. They got to conquer it inch by inch, city by city. Am I making sense, man? Y'all can't see that? Because you got to quit. You got to get your head out of those sports. Got to get your head off of that hip hop, rap music. Because they turned that against us. Look, black man invented every kind of music it is. Symphonic music, classical music. We just call it music, man. They classify music to make money off of it. And they could play the same old tune a different way, and make money off the same old tune, but it's just played a different way. So rap, they start rapping off of Biggie, started rapping off of James Brown stuff. Same old tune, but a different way. So y'all not coming up, y'all not creative no more. Y'all not coming up with nothing new. Y'all can't go no further. Y'all don't even use orchestration no more. You don't have a horn section. You don't have, when a rapper go on stage, the only thing he has is a DJ, maybe an MC, and that's it. I think Snoop, the only one that used horn sections and vocals. But we used to make complicated arrangements, intricate arrangements to songs. Remember Duke Ellington? He can make his brass section, his horn section, a science, a sophistication. We don't do that no more. We don't practice orchestration no more. We just do, everything is simple. We can't comprehend nothing. Like jazz, they started when Coltrane came out, with the music they call avant-garde, it was a form of jazz, but it was too deep at that time for the people, and when Miles, he came out with his form, he kind of made it, he had a little bit of avant-garde in his music, but he put a beat on it that you could dance to, But he was blowing jazz though, what they call jazz. The musicians themselves didn't call it jazz, but the white gangsters called it jazz. You know, they called it jazz. But the musicians didn't call it jazz. And the Moors introduced classical music way back when the Moors was ruling Spain for 700 years. They introduced them to science, introduced them to classical music, to schools. They had built universities. Y'all didn't know that. They don't show you that, see? But the Nation of Islam, Master Farad Muhammad, you know, and the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad brings all of this out, you know, in the teachings. So all y'all tripping about the sun, the moon, and the stars. In the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad given to him by Master Farad Muhammad, we were here before there was a sun, moon, and star. We were in triple blackness. You see what I'm saying? We were in triple blackness, man. They tell you that in the Bible said, God said, let there be light. But who is the God? Who is the God that said, let us make man? Who is the us? If it's more than, that means it's more than one God. That's in the Bible, right? In Genesis, that's what Moses opened with. But the preachers don't preach that, man. They don't preach. They don't want you to. They want you to think that Jesus is that white dude that Michelangelo painted. But y'all don't want to believe it. They even showed you pictures of the Pope worshiping the shrine of the Black Madonna. But you don't want to. You ignore that. Only thing y'all interested in is freaking. Freaking with these big booty women. See, our sex habits were more sophisticated. There's a science to sex. You know, we didn't just be having sex for recreation, for just to get off. You know, I feel like getting off, huh? So you just, you know, you don't care if it fall on the ground. You don't care what, as long as you get off. You know, you don't plan out nothing. You bringing in a life. You know, you bringing in you bringing in yourself really, because your DNA is alive. Your mother and father DNA is alive inside of you right now. They say you're going to the ancestors. The ancestors inside of you all the time. The ancestors inside of your father's seed. Your nation is inside of your seed. The man and woman is inside of your seed. That's why you God, fool. Y'all can't understand that. It's too hard for you, man. Y'all so used to watching Alice in Wonderland, Mickey Mouse, the Three Stooges. You know, y'all so used to watching silly stuff, laugh at the most silliest things, you know, that you can't get too sophisticated, you know. See, you can't use a whole lot of big words around our people, man. You got to talk just like you talking in the streets, you know, and you got to use what they call bionics. That's our language. You know, we take a word and make it hip. We make it cool. You know, just like y'all always coming up with a new word, a new slang or a new language, and y'all give it. And when a white man imitate that, y'all think, oh, he cool. He talk like us. Fool, he talk like you to get amongst you, so he could take and steal whatever you got. Take your music, he took your hip hop from you, you know, because he controls it, you know. Y'all don't try to get friendly. See what it is with y'all, with my people is we get jealous of each other, you know, because the African, he could come over here and get treated better than the one slave. And we get that. Don't get mad. Just like the immigrants came over here. A lot of them is black, brown, red, and they get treated better than the slave, you know, because you're stupid. Ain't no other word for it. First I said you was ignorant, but that means to ignore. Y'all gone past ignoring. Y'all just can't comprehend, man. How you getting played? You got to wake up to the game, man. Game recognize game. A lot of y'all think y'all so slick because a lot of y'all getting stacks. I make $1,000 a day. I make $1 million a day. Think about it. If the Federal Reserve print the money up, if he print the money up, he own all the banks. He controls the electricity. He controls your gas, your petrol. He controls. He makes all the cars. He controls your food. He can make GMO food. He can make a watermelon without seeds, and some of y'all like that. You don't know what you're eating, man. It's not natural. It's not organic. He controls all of this. He controls your medicine. He controls the hospitals, the doctors. He controls your politics. You know how much money it takes to run for president? He making sure that it's out your range, millions and millions of dollars. In other words, you got to pay to play. So you stacking up chips, but you can't. You can only go so far. Once you go, just ask Diddy. You can only go so far, man. And what about Cosby, Bill Cosby? You got to be like Oprah, man. You got to be. You got to watch what you say and what you do. Oprah, she careful, man. She slick with hers. She know her lane, and so she stay in her lane. But some of y'all think that y'all doing it, and so you're gonna get out your lane and try to take over the white man's spot. He ain't gonna let you take over his spot, fool. Now he may have some people look like you that's in managerial position. They are manager, but they still do what the Rothschilds tell them to do. I hardly hear the Rothschild mention. You know, y'all know about the Rothschild. Y'all used to call them the Illuminati. And, you know, the white man say, well, that's conspiracy theory. Yes, conspiracy theory. If it wasn't a conspiracy, if it wasn't a conspiracy, it's beyond theory now. It's conspiracy knowledge. Because if it wasn't a conspiracy, uh, the Federal Reserve wouldn't be making your money. And they don't even live in the United States. They got 3 power seats: Vatican, Rome, London, England, EU. They got Washington, D.C. And you might as well say Israel now. You might as well throw them in there. You know? So they control you like that. And they only put on the screen what they want you to know and want you to see. They guide in your mind, and you don't, it's hard for you to perceive this. It's hard for you to understand this because you got too much foolishness on your mind. You don't want to rule yourself. You know, there are those who think that they ruling themselves. But let the police find out. You know, they letting you get paid, man. They putting it in your hands. You know, that's how they get it to you. They let you. They put the drugs in your hands. You know, and let you uh, control that. That's a manager. See, but if they don't want you to have it, when they get tired of you, or if you think that you're gonna get bigger than them, you know, you get assassinated. You know, or go to jail. They bust you and go to jail. Sometimes they just drop a dime on you. Just like Nipsey Hussle, man. He got beyond himself. But Nipsey Hussle was deeper than that y'all give him credit for, because his old man was from Ethiopia. And he went over there to visit. You know, they was dropping some game on him, some knowledge on him. And the white man over here know it, because the white man got the CIA, he got Homeland Security, he got all eyes on the black man, and he using you like cattle. If a maverick steer goes away from the herd, it's the cowboy's job to put him back in the herd, or either kill him. But you always got a rustlers. Now, Trump is a rustler. Biden is the cowboy with the herd. You know, Biden is the cowboy with the herd. Trump is the rustler. You know, or vice versa. Trump had the herd until COVID came, and Biden was the rustler. He used COVID to rustle his to rustle his herd from Trump. You know? And so when they did that, they implemented. They broke the Constitution all the way down. Y'all had a little bit of Constitution that y'all could use, but it's all the way gone now. It's all the way gone. And they trying to get your guns out your hands. Of course, they ain't gonna do you no good anyway. when martial law come and they want to confiscate your weapons. Cause you know why? Y'all not in unity. You know, if you was in unity, black man, you got powers inside of you. The same powers that were not the same. Master Farah Muhammad got a little bit more, but you got the same powers Master Farah got. But not as much. You don't have he got the supreme top shelf. You got powers inside of you, man. But they lying dormant because you refuse to let the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad bring them out of you. And he told you, listen to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad speak lectures online. He'll tell it to you. He'll tell you all your powers, man, what you can do. Not all of them, but he'll give you a lot of the essentials, the basics, you know. And y'all listen to Farrakhan more than the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But Farrakhan was a student too, just like Malcolm. Elijah gave him the material that he teaches off of right now. But now he mixing them up though. He mixing it up. You know. So that leads me to think that they got to him. I think they got to him a long time ago. I think Wallace got to him, you know. But he tried to break away. And this is just my beliefs. I think they put that cancer on him. And that scared him, you know. Because he found out that he ain't got no hospital to go to. So he had to go. He said, dang, ain't no more. Down Elijah Muhammad was trying to build up a black hospital. How gonna look like how it gonna look like if Down Elijah Muhammad was teaching you about the Caucasian is the devil, and then he have to go to his hospital to get cured. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had a hospital on the blueprints, and that was his, you know, before he died, that was what he trying to do. He already had farms, boats, airplanes, trucks, you know, markets, banks. So Farrakhan, him and Wallace got rid of all that. And when he got cancer, only way he could go is Howard University to let them doctors work on him over there because they was black, but they boule though. So now if you see Farrakhan end up being in the Masonic black Masons and Greeks and stuff like that, that must have been the deal he made. Scientology. They saved him, you know. Y'all don't believe, just go to the history. Everything I'm teaching you or saying to you now, you can look up now and find it online. Or, you know, you can find it. It ain't like it's hid from you. So I'm trying to get you to see that when you take your poll, ask how many black people, when you go take a survey in your neighborhood or in your your city, and ask how many black people want to integrate, and ask how many want to separate. Ask how many want an independent, want some of this land over here for reparations, so you can do what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did. How many want to be a nation of their own? Before you can get in unity, you got to find out who's who. You got to find out who's down with the devil, and you got to find out who's down with Allah God. Some of y'all gonna say, well, I'm down with Jesus. Jesus, if you do your studying and research, Allah is under the name of Jesus, the Messiah. When you look in your Bible and Revelations, that's what it's talking about. Jesus ain't the same Jesus, the historical Jesus. That ain't the same Jesus. Why you say that? Because in Malachi, the last verse in Malachi, the fourth and the fifth verse, last verse in Malachi, Allah tells Israel that I'm going to send you Elijah. He will turn the sons to the fathers and the fathers to the sons, and, you know, the hearts of the fathers to the sons. And then when you go over to Matthew, it tells you that they call Jesus' first name was Emmanuel. And it says it means God with us. Then they changed that to Jesus. Jesus meant justice. See? So then Jesus tell you, I'm going to send you a comforter. Now that's in Revelations. I mean, that's talking about Revelations. And then when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad tell you when Jesus comes or when God comes, Allah comes, it ain't going to be pretty, man. He's going to come with the fire. He's separating right now the righteous from the unrighteous. People say, well, you can't be, ain't no such thing as perfect. I didn't say perfect, I say righteous. They say, well, you can't, that means if you say you righteous, that means you self-righteous. Who else gonna make you righteous? Allah can't make you righteous. That's why he's separating y'all. You know, he's separating the righteous from the unrighteous. But you can't be 100% righteous because he got that spot. Allah got that 100% righteous spot. You can only be anything over 50%, you're good. You're good to go. But if you're up under 50%, you're almost like on the fence. You know, you got that means you're on the fence right there. So you got to make sure it ain't no guessing work that you all the way righteous, and you just got to be over 50% righteous. But if you're around 80, 90%, that's better than 50 or 60, and you can reach that. You know, you can reach that. So all y'all gonna go and vote, you know, y'all say I'm voting for the lesser of two evils. How does that sound, man? Do that even make sense to you? How can you say some stupid stuff? You think that you got to vote. Remember when they didn't want you to vote? Remember when they was lynching you and killing you to keep you from voting? Then you had to pay a whole lot of money to vote. Remember the poll tax? But you insisted to vote because you want to be a part of the swamp. You want to be a part of the snake pit. Why you want to be a part of the snake pit? That's what I can't understand. See, they've been feeding you that pig, and that pig, the only thing he like to do is wallow in mud. And that's the only thing you like to do, is throw mud pies at each other. Y'all love that. That gets so many so many views, you know, just like Diddy, you know. But it's exposing his unrighteousness. But it's so many brothers want to be like Diddy. So many brothers want to be like pimps and stuff. Y'all think that's cool, man. That ain't cool. That's how you reproduce yourself through your woman. You know, and you don't want her to be all nasty and muddied up. You try to keep your fields fertile and clean. So when you reproduce yourself, you know, you come out supreme. You know, and you don't be dogging your woman, man. You don't want no trauma when you have a baby, when you have your baby. You dogging her. She pregnant with that's you. That's the only way you're gonna come back from the dead, physically dead. It's through her. You know, or your bloodline can be cut off. You know, it's gonna be cut off if you ain't righteous and refuse to get righteous. Now, if you got intentions to get righteous, there might be a little mercy in there for you. But the best bet is to try to get righteous. So don't go out here and vote for two evils. How you gonna get righteous and you going out voting for two evils? You better vote for Allah, man. Get on the right side of Allah. Now Detroit is sacred ground. MOTOWN is sacred ground because this is where Allah landed. He came on July the 4th. That's the white man's independence. But he came for the black man's independence. So now it's the perfect time to ask your black brothers and sisters, do you want to be independent or do you want to be dependent? Because long as you keep voting for the president to be your God and take care of you, you dependent on the devil. But you ain't got to vote. You say, well, what's going to happen if we, ain't nothing going to happen. Same thing that's always been happening, nothing. Even when you vote, don't nothing happen. You know, ain't nothing going to happen even if you don't vote. Unless you make it happen. You the one that's got to make it happen, man. God help those who help themselves. God help those who help themselves. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own. So God came to Detroit to put that, what I just said, into your head. He don't want no, God don't want no followers. He want leaders. He don't want no weak dudes. He wants strong dudes. He don't want no fearful people. You're only supposed to fear Allah. None but Allah. Ain't nothing gonna happen, man. If you fearless, you know, ain't nothing they can do. They know that they can't control you no more. They say, oh, we can't control. So you living in you got a good excuse not to pay taxes no more, not to pay rent no more. You know, you got right now. You still got enough to make it for yourself. You got black farmers. You know, you got gardens. You could, some of them vacant lots. You can make farmland out of that. You know, Detroit, Black Bottom used to be farmland. That's why they call it Black Bottom, because the rich soil. You know, you can do that again. You don't need their permission. That's the only way you're gonna be independent, if you follow the laws of Allah. That's Islam. You might not want to call it Islam because it's a black word. But Islam means those that do the will of Allah. Muslim means those that do the will of Allah. So if y'all can't get with that, sugar and sugar, salt and salt. If you can't dig what I'm saying, it ain't my fault. Truth should be told and not sold. I'm black light with the kind of flavor, the saving, the kind of knowledge that they sure enough ain't gonna give you in college. So you know, this little window, Allah is showing you how to get in his good graces. You know, he's telling you that it ain't gonna be like in 2024, the election, after the election, it's over, man, for you. If you ain't got yourself in unity with each other and organized, you're gonna get caught. You know, unprepared, unorganized. So that's why you got to see who want to integrate, and that's why you got to see who want to separate. You got to see who want to integrate. You know, black man, you do. Otherwise, they're gonna have you. It's gonna be a dictator. Whoever get in there, they dictate to you now, and you don't know it. I mean, why you say that, Black Light? Because look, they take your money and send it over to Ukraine and don't repair the infrastructure in the cities. Don't repair the infrastructure in your city. Don't repair the infrastructure in your neighborhood. They got to upgrade it. They got to modernize it to meet the demands of the weather. Look, they got The way they produce your automobiles now, they could drop a bomb, or they could disconnect all electricity. The way they got the infrastructure rigged now, the enemy could sabotage by dropping. They got certain kind of bombs and weapons that could interrupt the electricity grid, and the grid could shut off even your car. The car's connected. See, the white man know this. They've been preparing for this for a long time. Those cats in Texas, Trump's crew. That's what that's all about. Texans don't want to be a part of the United States no more. And so, you know, they still want to control you, though, the black man. They don't care if you get with them and help them fight. They still gonna control you. Do you want them to control you? Do you want to control yourself? You want to be self-controlled. See, a brother that get high, he's not in control of himself. And his God is what he get high off of. A brother that get greasy fat, he's not in control of himself. He's not in physical fit. He's not physical fit to fight anybody. You get tired, man, before you fight about 5 minutes, not even that long, you might have a heart attack or whatever, because you're not in shape. Nowadays, you got to be in shape, man. I'm 77 years old, and I can do physical activity for 5 hours without getting tired. That is if I keep myself calm and know how to breathe right. I can go 4 hours without even taking a break. '77, man. I ain't seen a hospital ever since 1981, or a doctor since 1981. You got to be in mental shape and physical shape. So you got to quit all the getting high thing. You got to quit to get high. You got to start breathing right, eating right, thinking right, exercising. you know. So if you could make it to the other side of about what's just about ready to happen, you're gonna live forever. Your bloodline gonna live forever. Your name gonna live forever. Especially if you get one of the names of Allah and you was one of the righteous. 100, they say 144,000, but it's gonna be more than that. So that just about does it for this message I'm giving you. And this 4th of July, if you celebrate the coming of Master Farad Muhammad, who gave survival skills on how to eat to live, on how to think and grow rich. And remember this, you don't have to vote. Ain't nobody got no gun in your head telling you got to vote. You can't say allegiance to the Constitution or the American flag before you say allegiance to the commandments and Allah or God or Jesus. If you want to call him Jesus, that's cool. That's a good name because it do mean justice. Assalamu alaikum.